Hi, I'm Kerry. If you think that the life of a straight A student is all about harmony, vexing cats, then you've clearly never been me. I'm 16, and all my life I've been the wallflower who sat in the front row of the classroom, never raised her hand or bothered anyone. But for some reason, people wouldn't leave me alone. Being at school was like surviving on a wild island. Only instead of sharks, I was surrounded by annoying classmates and indifferent teachers. I'm not kidding. Every day there felt like a trial. I had dozens of hurtful nicknames, from nerd to ghost, all because I was too quiet. As for the teachers, they acted like they didn't notice anything, or just added insult to injury. Kerry, you're smart. You can handle it on your own. It was easier for them to look away than to help me. Our school was in a poor neighborhood, and no one cared about the problems of others there. The students did whatever they wanted until the principal, Mr. Howard, showed up once in a while. Even the teachers were afraid of him. Everyone knew that he was on vacation most of the year, but whenever he came back, he turned everyone's life into a living hell. On those days, the school was dead silent, and even the bullies didn't dare cause any trouble. However, as soon as the principal left, things went back to normal. Among my bullies, Michael bothered me the most. He was the star of our school, a handsome athlete, the dream of all the girls, and of course, my worst nightmare. Every time I passed by him, he couldn't help himself.
Hey Kerry, why are your clothes always so ugly?
Everyone burst out laughing. I just kept walking, trying not to show how much it hurt. Do you know what the most annoying thing was? I couldn't say anything back. The words got stuck in my throat and I just silently swallowed the insults. At home, things were different. It was just me and my mom. I don't remember my dad at all. He died when I was just a baby, but my mom always said he was a good person. Although, to be honest, having my mom was enough for me. She was my favorite person, and whenever I came home crying, she sat down next to me and stroked my head. Kerry, don't let other people decide who you are. But Mom, those with power decide everything. Having power means taking responsibility. Many people don't understand that. She worked almost all the time, but she did it for us. Sometimes I heard her talking on the phone at night and laughing, and then one morning, she said she wanted to tell me something. Kerry, I have a surprise for you. Of course, I tensed up. I'm dating someone, and he proposed to me. Honestly, I almost fell over. Mom was getting married. She was glowing, and I couldn't help but be happy for her. I knew how hard life had been for her over the past years, and if she was finally happy, then everything was right in the world. The man's name was Mr. Swinton. He was, well, let's just say, we lived in different worlds. He was a construction tycoon, successful and elegant. Mom had immediately fallen for him. A couple of months later, they got married, and you know what happened next? He said he was working on a project in London, and we were moving there for a whole year. You can't imagine how ecstatic I was. This is it! A new city? A new life? A new school? Everything will be different. We moved into a huge mansion, gigantic windows, a beautiful staircase, and even house staff. Mom was beaming, and I felt like I was in a whole new reality. Soon, it was my first day at my new school. It was something straight out of a dream. Modern, beautiful classrooms, expensive uniforms. But it turned out people in all schools are the same. The only difference was the clothes. Instead of torn jeans and old sneakers, I now saw designer bags and pristine sneakers everywhere. When I walked into the classroom, everyone stared at me. New girl, you have a cute accent. Where are you from, the countryside? Everyone laughed. I turned red and didn't say anything, hoping it was just a dumb moment that would soon be forgotten about. But no, that was just the beginning. They found fault in everything. How I talked, how I dressed, what my backpack looked like. I tried not to pay them any mind, but that only made them pick on me more. One day, some girls took a picture of my old backpack and posted a story with the caption, "Second-hand chic." I saw it by accident, and it really made my blood boil. I hadn't done anything to hurt anyone. I just wanted to study and be a part of this new world. Even the teachers seemed to be looking down on me, especially my English teacher. She once said, in front of the whole class, "Kerry, I guess you're not used to such high standards, are you?" My classmates giggled, and I just stared at my textbook so no one would see how much it hurt me. As soon as the lesson ended, I quickly left, barely holding back tears. As I walked home, I couldn't help but think that something was probably wrong with me. No matter where I was, in a poor school or an elite one, people still found reasons to humiliate me. And the worst part was that I still couldn't stand up to them. Why can't I be strong? Why can't I just tell them that's enough? But as always, the words stuck in my throat, and I realized a new life didn't necessarily mean a new chance. Sometimes it was just the same thing in a new package. I tried to stay strong. Every day, I told myself, "You can do this, Kerry. Don't let anyone see that you're hurting." But one evening, when we were eating dinner, Mr. Swinton noticed that I was upset. "Kerry, honey, what's wrong?" I looked at him and realized that he really wanted to help me. And I told him everything about the bullying, the backpack stories, feeling like a nobody again.
This won't do. We'll fix this.
That was just the beginning. The next day, 2 people came to our place, a stylist and a therapist. At first, I thought it was a joke, like, "Here, get some therapy, it's trendy nowadays." But no.
Miss, you used clothes that don't reflect who you are to hide from the world. You've been trying to look like everyone else, but you only need to look like yourself.
We picked out some looks, not glamorous or pretentious ones, just something that made me feel like myself. He taught me not to be afraid of wearing bright clothes, to stop hiding my figure, and to choose clothes not because they're in, but because they speak to me. Most importantly, he said something that I later saved in my notes.
Style is not about clothes. It's about confidence.
As for the therapist, she turned everything I believed in upside down. We talked for hours. She helped me understand that my quietness was not a weakness, but a defense mechanism, that my opinion mattered, that saying no meant setting boundaries, not being rude. We even practiced. She pretended to be my mean classmate, and I learned to calmly look her in the eyes and speak firmly and confidently, without shouting, without getting angry. A month went by. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I didn't recognize myself. Look at my outfit! I wasn't slouching or looking at the floor, and my eyes, there was a new look in them. It was confidence, not arrogance, but a calm certainty. I can do it! Finally, it was time to go back to school. I was worried sick. My heart was pounding and my palms were sweating, but I walked like my therapist had taught me. I came into the classroom, and of course, the show started right away. New clothes from a flea market? No, but money can't buy style. Silence fell over the classroom. Someone laughed, but not at me, at her.
Do you think you're cool now?
No, but I'm not gonna let anyone humiliate me anymore. You should have seen his face. Since that day, there wasn't a single joke at my expense or a single sarcastic comment. At first, everyone just avoided me. Then they started approaching me. Some students asked me where I'd bought my clothes, and some wanted to know how I managed to stay so calm. Gradually, everything changed. Before I knew it, I had become something of a leader. Everyone listened to me, asked me for advice. I finally felt like I could be myself without being afraid. I didn't let my grades slip either. I was still an excellent student, except now I was confident and not just quiet. A year flew by. We went to the Maldives for the holidays. Just imagine, sun, ocean, sand, coconuts. It was paradise. I was lying on a sun chair, listening to music and thinking that life was finally getting better. But fate decided to surprise me once again. I saw Mr. Howard, the principal from my old school. He was sprawled out in a sun chair like the king of the world. At that moment, I thought I would explode like a pressure cooker. All the memories came flooding back to me at once. My humiliation, fear, his indifferent gaze. "Mr. Howard,
Who are you?
don't you recognize a student from your own school? I just wanted to say that you're a terrible principal. You turned a blind eye to bullying."
Don't you dare. Watch your mouth.
He shouted at me, but then Mr. Swinton intervened. He didn't raise his voice, but the look in his eyes, even I would have gotten scared.
I don't recommend raising your voice at my daughter.
Howard mumbled something about personal space, but he looked pathetic. I told Mr. Swinton everything about my former school, Michael, and the teachers.
I'll look into it. Trust me, Kerry, I won't let them get away with it.
After the vacation, we returned to my hometown, not to our old apartment, but to Mr. Swinton's new house. It was spacious, full of light, and cozy. You know, for the first time, I felt like I was in the right place. I made a decision that surprised everyone to go back to my old school. Why would you do that, Kerry? You can choose a better school. I just want to prove that I'm not afraid of anything anymore. The next morning, I stood in front of my old school. Everything looked the same as a year ago. Peeling walls, cracks on the steps, an old sign. Even the smell was the same. A mixture of cheap coffee, chalk, and something dusty. Like time had stopped there. I took a deep breath and I went inside. Hey guys, look, it's Kerry. I turned around and sure enough, it was them, my former classmates. The ones who used to call me Ghost. I could tell by the look on their faces that they were shocked. Wow, is that really her? No way. Did you get a personality transplant in England? I didn't answer. I just walked on with a sure step that I'd practiced with my therapist. I smiled calmly, not challengingly, but it was enough to get the laughter stuck in their throats. Of course, the peace didn't last long. They started to pick on me again, except now they were pretending to be kind. Hey, Kerry, do you have a British accent now? Oh, look, we have Miss London in our class now. Really? It's been a year and that's the best you can come up with? Even your jokes are the same. That shut them up. They weren't expecting it. Some of them looked down, some turned away. I was no longer the Kerry they could easily intimidate. Now, I could stand up for myself, and it seemed like everyone felt it. Soon enough, my classmates stopped bullying me. They kept whispering behind my back, but they did it quietly and pretended to be busy when I walked by. Even Michael, the most handsome guy at school, pretended not to recognize me at first, but I could see him sneaking glances at me. But the teachers were still the same, always busy, indifferent, like nothing that happened concerned them. Do you know what it feels like when adults are next to you, but it's like they're on another planet? Because that's what it felt like. I knew that if I didn't do something about it, nothing would ever change. I decided it was time to bring order to our school, not just for myself, but for everyone who was bullied there. I started with discipline. I made sure no one dared to come to school late, banned phones in classrooms, and even introduced dress code rules. No bold colors or psychedelic hoodies. Everything should be proper, like in a normal school. Everyone did as I said, and I felt powerful. It was a strange but compelling feeling. When I talked, people listened. They stopped arguing with me just because I felt and acted confident. One evening at dinner, Mr. Swinton said, I have some news. I called my friends at the Department of Education. Mr. Howard is no longer the principal. What? Was he fired? That's right. The board is now looking for a new principal. I think your school is finally going to change. The very man who once made my life at school unbearable lost his power. Deep inside, I felt satisfaction. Meanwhile, I became something of a school leader, although no one officially appointed me. Everyone just listened to me. Tomorrow, everyone should wear something gray and no sparkles. Don't you dare be late. I'm warning you. And, most surprisingly, everyone obeyed me, even those who used to laugh at me. One day, I ran into Michael. Kerry, could I talk to you for a minute? What do you want? Just, you've changed. You're, well, different now. Do you wanna maybe go out with me sometime? I almost burst out laughing. Are you serious? Are you really the Michael who called me a nerd and hid my stuff? I was an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna waste my time on someone who laughed at me when I was hurting. You should wear gray clothes tomorrow like everyone else. You'll be in trouble if you don't. We were surrounded by other students, and I said it loud enough for everyone to hear. Michael turned red as a lobster and avoided everyone's eyes. At that moment, I felt like I got back at him for everything, like I was finally a winner. One day, when I got into the classroom and started to boss the other kids around, I saw them exchanging glances. They looked anxious instead of admiring. Don't argue with her, or you're gonna regret it later. And then it hit me. They didn't respect me anymore. They were simply afraid of me. At that moment, I realized I was acting just like my bullies. Except now, instead of being the victim, I was the leader. It made me feel disgusted with myself. As my luck would have it, the new principal chose that day to arrive at school. I was standing in the hallway when I heard everyone whispering about it. It's him, the new principal! I turned around and I was stunned. It was Mr. Swinton. He immediately came up to me and hugged me. Hello, Kerry. Everyone gasped. I realized that my classmates now knew I was the daughter of the new principal. The teachers immediately started to suck up to me.
Oh, Mr. Swinton, it's such a pleasure. Our students are brilliant kids, especially Kerry. She's an example for everyone.
As he looked around, he noticed that there were no colors at our school. Everyone wore gray and their faces looked tense.
Did the previous principal do this to the school? Why is everything so depressing?
I finally realized that my no bright clothes rule, my obsession with control, and my orders turned my school into something I had once hated. It was me. I just wanted to bring back order, but I think I got carried away. He looked at me carefully, but didn't judge me.
What matters is that you realized it.
The next day, I gathered the whole class and said, "Guys, I was wrong. I shouldn't have tried to scare you. I'm sorry. I wronged you. Especially you, Michael. I went too far, and that wasn't fair." There was silence in the classroom, but then someone started to clap. Another student joined them, then another. At that moment, I didn't feel powerful. I felt respected, and that was so much more important. I've realized that power is not about making everyone do what you want. It's about inspiring, helping, and protecting others. Real power isn't about humiliating, but lifting up those who have fallen. I swore to myself I would never make that same mistake again.